Over the past few months, there's been a lot of uncertainty regarding the U.S. economy. You've probably seen the headlines about tariffs, interest rates, and the stock market. Well, here to give us expert analysis of the market, where it's headed, and an exciting new financial development in Texas is certified financial advisor Michael Reinking, senior market strategist for the New York Stock Exchange. So, Michael, thanks for being here with us on Cincy Lifestyle today. And first off, what's the current economic outlook amid all the ongoing financial uncertainty and tariff talk?
Yeah, absolutely. So, thanks for having me on, Pete. So, when you think about where we came into this year, and we'd come off of, kind of back-to-back very strong years for kind of, U.S. equity markets. We had an economy, that was still, kind of very resilient. We were starting to see some moderation, and there was quite a bit of optimism as you had the administration, kind of take office with this expectation that you would see kind of this pro-growth, kind of business-friendly agenda. Now, markets kind of got things wrong in terms of the sequencing coming from the administration, as they were very much focused on these kind of protectionist policies, kind of anti-tariffs, and that it kind of created some volatility kind of in financial markets, and also quite a bit of uncertainty, kind of from a business perspective, right? So, we're in this period of time where there's a little bit of policy fog, where businesses are waiting to see kind of what the ultimate outcome of these, kind of trade negotiations will be, and so we've seen, some moderation in hiring, but there's also this expectation that you could see a little bit of an increase in inflation expectations, which kind of puts the Fed's dual mandate kind of at odds with itself. But as we start to move forward, we're hoping to have a resolution to those trade negotiations kind of in the next couple of weeks, right? That sets up the administration to start to shift their focus to those pro-growth kind of policies that I just kind of referenced, right? And it also allows businesses to kind of, once again pick up kind of investment and hiring, and we could, potentially start to see some acceleration in the economy as we kind of head out of 2025 into 2026.
And what would you say are the biggest factors driving the markets right now, and how's the rest of 2025 shaping up?
Yeah, so I mean, we have a new bit of uncertainty that's just been introduced, kind of over the last week, kind of with the situation in the Middle East, right? So, that's kind of creating, some uncertainty in terms of, kind of whether the U.S. is going to get more involved in that process. It's adding a little bit of a wrinkle, to those, conversations around, kind of inflation as we've seen oil prices move higher. But as we move into July, right, we have, a couple of, really big catalysts. We have the deadline for the 90-day reprieve on tariffs, so hopefully we'll have a resolution there. We have Congress that's working through kind of the big, beautiful bill, right? And and so as we start to see some of that uncertainty removed, as I sort of mentioned earlier, you'll be able to see kind of businesses begin to invest, right? Hopefully market expectations for where tariffs end up, kind of somewhere closer, to that baseline 10% tariff, kind of in the low teens is correct. And if that's the case, right, you will see, some increase in inflation, but it shouldn't necessarily derail economic activity. And that'll put the Federal Reserve in a place where they can begin to cut rates in the back half of this year, helping to stoke, some economic growth.
I know one exciting development is establishing the New York Stock Exchange in Texas. What drove the decision to establish NYSE Texas, and what sort of business opportunities will that create, not just in Texas, but across the country and even internationally?
Absolutely. So that's been a really exciting development for the New York Stock Exchange. So NYSE Texas is the first exchange that's incorporated in the state of Texas. As you mentioned, it is an all-electronic exchange, but that is located in Dallas. We'll also have a headquarters there as well, right? And when you think of, the NYSE, we already have very deep roots and relationships, kind of in the state of Texas. It's the state with the most NYSE-listed companies in the country, making up nearly $4 trillion of market capitalization. And Texas, kind of in the context of the overall, U.S. economy, has continued to grow. It's become a technology hub, an energy hub, and it's looking like we're, kind of moving towards this financial hub, which is very much a testament, to the pro-growth, pro-business jurisdiction that's been set up by Governor Abbott. And he's talked about wanting to have a kind of local capital markets ecosystem, and NYSE Texas is the first building block in bringing that to fruition.
Michael Reinking, Senior Market Strategist for the New York Stock Exchange. Thanks again for being with us today.
Thanks, Pete, and I'll talk to you again soon.